Hello everyone. So another part of my life and my little homestead that I don't really film too often are my crows. I have a family, or a large group of crows is called a murder of crows, and I have a very large family that I feed on a regular basis, and what they do is they help me with predators in my backyard. So I have very small dogs. I also have bunnies that I sometimes put out in the backyard. Now, mind you, the bunnies are always under a covered kind of cage type of thing, but still, we have hawks and such out in the yard. We have bald eagles that are right over at the river, which is only a mile away, and that's nothing for a bald eagle. And my crows have become these wonderful sentries who alert me when there is a predator out in the backyard. I also have fox back there, we have coyote, we have bear. So, whenever there's a predator out there, the crows all come together in their murder, so to speak, and they will start really just cawing like crazy. And I say cawing, C-A-W-I-N-G. And I mean, it is such a ruckus that you can hear it. I mean, all the way, the whole neighborhood can hear it. So they always alert me when there's a predator in my backyard, and that could even be a strange person. I've had them alert me before when, there was a kind of a person walking around who should not have been walking around, and he was going up to people's houses, and I think he was maybe addicted to meth or something. I don't know. But anyway, the crows knew that that person was not supposed to be there, and they started really going off. So, of course, I turned on my cameras outside, and I saw him, kind of wandering around the property. So, long story short, I always feed my crows. You can see there's some of the food out there. Crows are scavengers. They will eat pretty much anything. And I have found that this is a wonderful way to clean out the leftovers in my refrigerator that maybe I haven't gotten to. Or scraps, my plate scraps. Like if you have some leftover, like if you eat meat and you have some leftover gristle or something like that, I always keep all of my plate scraps and I keep them together, and instead of creating a compost pile, I create a crow pile. So I feed my crows. They know when I call them. Like I go outside on my porch and I will call them, and then they'll send a scout over. And the scout usually lands in one of those maple trees right there. He watches me put the food out. See, there's one right there. He watches me put the food out, and then he proceeds to contact the rest of his family, and then they all come in and they get fed. So I have just found that this is a wonderful it works well for all of us because they get fed on a regular basis, and then in turn they take care of me as well, and they alert me to predators. So it's a really fun kind of way to deal with leftovers or scraps, and that way no food goes to waste, and everybody's happy. So that's just another part of my my day. I would also like to add that crows are wickedly intelligent creatures. A crow can remember if someone is kind to them. They can remember a human face for like their entire lifetime, and they communicate to one another whether or not that person is kind to them or mean to them. So studies have been done on this, and it really, really, really is fascinating. There was one study done where this woman went out and she befriended all these crows, and she fed them like every day, and they would all land around her, and she would feed them, and she was very kind to them. And then she did this experiment where she dressed up in a disguise, and she wore a mask, and then she went out there and she was not nice to the crows. Like she kind of like yelled at them and shoved them off from where they were. And then she went back the next day like as herself, her face, not with the disguise on, and all the crows came in to greet her and to meet her. And so she did that for a little while, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something like that. She kept showing up as herself. And then she decided to show up again with that same outfit and that mask on, and all the crows came in. The murder of crows came in, and they all alerted everyone. They just went crazy. They were like, danger, 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 and they were calling, and they were warning one another, and they were screaming in the whole... So they remembered that woman, or that, you know, that person with the mask was not a nice person, and they alerted everyone in their, you know, in their family that person was not a nice person. And I know I'm gonna get a question. That's a piece of driftwood right there that goes in my fish tanks. It reminded me of the Harry Potter sorting hat. And then I've got some other logs out there that I was kind of cleaning and drying for my fish tanks. So it kind of looks like something else from a distance, but it is a piece of wood. Anyway, yep. All right. Take care.